Hello, 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 hello. Can you guys hear me? Ba-da-da. I should really make my microphone louder, but I don't know how loud it should get. It's just an observation. Let me see. It's just cause it was like a bus I could manage. Oh well, I'll figure it out. Whatever. Boop. One second. Doing a post. And we'll get started into our little live stream. Okay. So I was a little late anyways. I was trying to get something done beforehand, but yeah, it didn't really work out. So I have to go back to it later. Okay. I still need to figure out like a way to put chat somewhere because I keep forgetting to do that. Yeah. Let's get into it. Say something in chat if you can hear me. By the way, just so I know, like I'm not like rambling to myself. I'll get started to the feedback. Okay, first submission. First submission is Silas. Okay. You want feedback on your mixing and song structure. Got it. Okay. I think I've seen you around, Silas. I saw you on like Twitter quite often, so it's good to see you here. Can't wait to get into your song. Okay. For those that don't know how these streams usually go, I'm just gonna listen to the whole thing uninterrupted, and I'm gonna go just through the song and say what I like or dislike. Oh, I almost forgot my notes. Oh my gosh. I have the guy from the last thing here. Let's just change that real quick. Silas. Okay. All right, cool. Almost forgot that. Okay. Damn. So most of it is the intro, so it's a good fucking intro. It's just like, damn, I want to see more of this, you know? It's some good shit. Some yummy good shit. Yo, what's up? AgniX Borgor ID when? Do I have? Is this like an already existing thing? Or do you just want me to collab with Borgor? Man, I haven't heard that name in like forever. Borgor. I don't know what he does. Actually, I think I don't even know like what kind of music he's actually made. I know he like followed me when I first started this project, but I mean, honestly, his music hasn't really stood out to me, so it's whatever though. Well, yeah, let's go to the notes. So, intro. Wow, you got me, dude. I didn't know this was a Avoidable Cause remix. Thank you. No horn. No horn. Good job. Thank fuck you're not using the intro horn. You might have stuck it in there somewhere, but I don't hear it. Really spooky intro. I like that little cinematic ride fill thing. I feel like you should put some ear candies around here. Like between where my mouse is. So like when I say ear candies, I'm talking about little kind of ASMR sounds. So gosh, I played that on accident. For example, I said this in like someone else's track before, like those radiation detector things where it's like you hear like a click and it goes like something like that. It could be like a footstep or something, rocks tumbling, metal creaking. It could just be like, honestly, anything. Even like wind. I think if you got like a field mic and recorded like leaves or something rustling in the wind, that would be enough to be like, ooh, that's kind of like freaky and weird. Or like a fire crackling, just something ASMR ear candy to fill in the gaps in like the atmosphere, because you're building like actually a really good horror atmosphere, and I could imagine this in like a movie trailer for like some scary movie. You gotta add those small details that like really put you in an environment in your head. Like you can do a lot in there with just any of those examples I gave. Or if you even wanted to, you could just have like some kind of bass playing here. So it'd be like the little Avoidable Cause vocal thing. I don't know what you call that synth. Like I was like awa awa awa. It should be something like awa awa awa, and then like in the middle to fill that space. And I don't know if I would have those drums, those cinematic drums there. I think it's fine starting here, but I would leave this relatively like heavy drum free, because it just sounds like you're building a scary environment. You can add some little cymbals here and there, crashes, or like a ride cymbal going something. I don't fucking know. Just something, some textures aside from like a big heavy tom or something. The drums make sense over here when you start putting in the strings. I think this is really weird to have the hi-hat fading in. It sounds like you made this entire thing and then just brought another project over and was like, just put a fade in. That'll be fine. Just fade it in. Like fading in hi-hats sounds so weird, and that's like the impression it gives me, is like you're fading in from like another song. So just have it here. You could even low pass it very slightly at like 5k hertz or something, build it up, but don't volume automate it. And you can have the vocals at the same volume as well, just going in, because again, like having the vocals and then the hi-hat fading at the same time totally gives that impression. Actually, I think all of these ones are. You should just have these at full volume at the start. I don't know why you're fading them in. I will say though, now that I'm hearing it again, I had no idea this was the drop. Like if you took this visualizer away from me and played this all the way through, I'd be like, oh, it's like a little intensity thing. And then I think in this section after that, like after 8 bars, that there would be a build up or something there. But no, it's the drop. I think you need to establish it's the drop more. Like this isn't even a build up. You're not like anticipating anything. You just went from really cool string section to also like the same amount of energy. And then suddenly it cuts to the kick from the drop playing. Just out of nowhere, by the way. Just completely abrupt. And then it just goes into the drop. I think a better way to do this is take the sound design from like this section, draw it out, don't put any drums, and then for the next 4 bars, just make it like a proper build up, and then get like reverb and stuff, and that way you can build like this full drop. You can probably add a bit more, like some hi-hats or things. I really like this drop a lot. I think it's very sound design intensive and like a big flex, if you will. And when I say like take the sounds from this and just make it like part of the build-up, you can do it in a way that doesn't ruin the drop. Like there's a section right here where it sounds like it's all reverb and swollen out. I think if you had like a bass hit with a big reverb and swollen out effect to be part of the build up, it would work really well. And this part, for the actual drop, you could have it contain more dry sounds. One big flaw with this drop though is the danceability of it. I'm not sure if you intend that to be like a danceable track or not, but like have any EDM person listen to this and then tell them to dance to it, and then they probably have a pretty hard time trying to get down and boogie. You have to establish what kind of beat you're going for. It's like I'm trying to hear the beat, but it's really hard. Your drums are doing pretty much all the work, establishing the beat, and in no way did you like tease that in the build up or the section before this drop or anything. It's like a completely new rhythm. And I mean, it's really good. You just gotta like make it more danceable. And there's a way you can do that. Just mess with the arrangement a little bit, I would say. What was the other thing you said you wanted feedback on? Let me see. Oh, that was the mixing. Okay. The mixing. It's hard for me to like criticize this because like I love crazy weird sounds that are all like wishy-washy and conventionally messy sound design. So I think it's cool a lot of times. But at the same time, it can be really unorthodox and make songwriting a big hassle. Because say for example, you make this kind of cool bass. It's like if you want to make another sound, it's gonna be really hard to make something similar. Whenever you make a song, I referenced this before. You make a sound palette, and if you make a really unique sound palette, that means every other sound that you add to your sound palette is also going to have to be really unique, and that's just kind of difficult at some point. Like if you're gonna have all these weird sloppy, not like sloppy sounds, but like swash, swoosh kind of sounds, you have to make other swoosh sounds go along with it, and it's just like it makes it really difficult. That's why I was suggesting having like drier sounds in the mix to kind of make it more cohesive and more energetic at the same time. Mixing wise, like I said, the stereo sub is something to be really careful of, because it can be a turnoff for building energy. I think in certain moments in here it works, like in this section where I reference this like big reverbed, kind of swelled out kind of sound. I think the stereo sub works fine here. But when it's the main section, I think you should tone down the stereo width of the sub. You should have the sub be pretty strong in the center in the parts that you want like a lot of energy in. And that would usually be like the 1 of your drop. I like your kick. Kick's fine. Good. Mostly conservative for your snare. I feel like you could just use a different snare, honestly. One that's tight and punchy, has a lot of reverb. You can add reverb after the fact. But if you're gonna have some high-end energy with your drums, you gotta match it with some hi-hats or bring that high-end up with a bass. But that's about all I have to say about this. I do really like this, and I kind of have to be more critical because you clearly know like what you're doing and you felt comfortable enough with your skills to make something like this, so props to you. Someone asked me a question. What question have you bestowed upon me? What's your favorite VST? Faceplant. Without a doubt, Faceplant. If Faceplant had like a reverb filter or all pass filter or even the Combs filter that Serum has, I would uninstall Serum. I would legit uninstall it because those are the only things that make me go back and use Serum are those filters. And I don't know how they even like do that shit. Oh, is it not like, damn it. No, the notes are updating, okay. I don't know why I was freaking out about that. Yeah, like you said, Lucas, it lacks a leading sound, but I mean, it is really cool. Yeah, I know Filter Table is released, but it's not the same as like the reverb filter. I love Filter Table though, it's fucking amazing. Yeah, I know. You can kind of emulate it, yeah. I'm mostly interested in the all passes one, because I don't know how you would recreate that. I'd have to like actually think about it, because I've made my own impulses for like metallic sounds, and it's kind of more difficult than you think it is. Try Bitwig? No, I'm an FL Studio person all the way, but I have dabbled in Ableton a little bit. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Mecha Wolf, the man, the myth, the legend. What the fuck? Real photo of Agony. Bro. It's not me. That's not. Where did you find this picture? Where did you find this picture? Delete it. Yeah, I get a fucking magnifying glass out to look at the meter and see how loud your hi-hat is. If it goes over fucking -6 decibels, dude, you're out. You're out. Okay. Okay. You really like that like atmosphere pad thing, huh? I mean, it works kind of, but I hear this. It's kind of want to go like that. It just doesn't change. You gotta change it up a little bit. I like a cool lead. Something to give it some life. It's also kind of funny. You have like a really high cut sounding pad here, and it just goes into a fucking insanely high end intense sound and drop. If you're gonna do this kind of like build up thing where like a pad and it goes into the drop, you need to make it less jarring. Start like after 4 bars. You want to have the build up be like 4 bars long or something and anticipate it. There's like no change in here at all. And then in the last not even full bar, like half a bar. You add a little riser and reverse cymbal or something here. You gotta build that anticipation longer for you to properly appreciate the drop. Add some more filtering, like high pass the pad more, have it sweep up. A longer riser, probably one that's not white noise, just like a basic riser, like a shepherd's tone or something, and then just bring it up slowly with like a low pass or something. I don't know, something like that. You can introduce the drums here with like a cymbal or something, a vocal perhaps. If you got a vocal here, it just makes writing a song so much better and easier. So you can just put like a pre-drop vocal here and tease it through the entire intro. That's something that you could do that would like bring this track up tenfold. You have like a kind of a weird fake out. Your main bass is super high end, like very, very high end intense. Sounds like glass is scraping against, oh shit. Sounds like glass scraping against like pots and pans and shit. And then really band pass and then back into this gun bass, which doesn't have as much white or like high end as the first bass, which is kind of weird. I feel like a better way, take away any effects you have on that kick hit and just have like kind of a dull bass play and then go in the band pass thing. I feel like you have a glass brick sound or something there. Gosh, yeah, that first hit is so high-end heavy. Turn the high-end down on like pretty much all these basses. It's too much. Also, I have to say it. Your sound design in this gun bass is kind of lacking. It just sounds like a really lasery sound. And the sub is not really doing that much justice, honestly. It's not hitting right. You should go back and change it up a little bit. I would take away the kind of lasery sound a bit. I would get some kind of foliage sound of like a pan getting hit. Layer that over, add some distortion. My typical way of building a sound is I have the sub and then everything else. And then I put them together and saturate them. Anything you have with a sub, you want to slightly saturate it with the bass to kind of glue it together. So when you think of like bass buses, they take the sub and other sounds that are part of that bass, and they just saturate it, add some compression, just tons of different things you can do with that. Adding reverb, you know. But you want to do something like that so it kind of glues it together. I do that, and then I distort a lot against my sub. Whenever I sound design, I like very rarely have a separate dedicated sub. In like those old VR Virtual Riot videos, he talks a lot about having dedicated subs for his basses. I like never do that. I always keep the same sub in my projects, like that's from the VST. If I make a bass in Serum, I'm gonna use the same sub that I made in Serum. Like, I'm not going to add another sub bass with it. I just keep it as is. And so that kind of like challenges you to keep the bass clean and also at the same time makes it sound really good. What you don't realize a lot of times is that when you make a sound and you cut away the sub completely and add a separate sub, the sound you just made has like the phases basically of the original sub, but you just don't really know it. They have if you have another sub in it, the phases won't align. It's kind of like getting a white noise bass, getting white noise and a sine wave and distorting it, and then cutting the sub away completely, and then adding another sine wave in there, and it won't align. I can show you what I mean. a little bit because it's kind of hard to talk about just on its own. So one sec. Burp, 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 burp. It's like, let's do this. Imagine sine wave, right, guys? Sine wave? Whoa, sine wave, and then white noise. Distortion. That's crazy. Peak sound design there. So I take my sound and I record it. Let's go over here. I can see that. And I'll go into my settings real quick so I can see a bit better. So you can see the phases here. If I just take the high end and I chop it completely, I have a filter right here. I can use that. Let's say I do this. Go here. You're just leaving this behind after high passing it. And not only does this filter change the phase of the low end, it also makes it difficult to line the phases later. So let's say you have a dedicated sine wave, or a sub, if you will. Right here. If you just have it in MIDI, you're not going to even know that it's not lining up properly. So what was happening here is that the top of the sine wave gets clipped to the roof, and the bottom gets clipped to the roof here. And in between the sine wave cycles, you have the white noise filling in the gaps. And that's why you hear like this buzzing sound. So that's right. That's why like when I cut the low end, just the white noise is here, and you only hear the gaps between. But if you have a dedicated sub, the sound can vary pretty drastically. Get a little oscilloscope. You can see like it's not the same as it was on top. It's not as loud, it's not as crunchy. It's also really hard to align it. So there you go, we kind of have it now. But now I have to boost it to kind of compensate. But then again, it's not the same shape. This is kind of like a square wave or like very saturated sine wave. It's not the same shape. This is a pure sine wave. You can see the problems just compound on top of each other. And this is like the most simple case too. This is just white noise. Imagine having a full bass with mids, highs, and even tonal parts to it. It's gonna be way harder to align your sub with it. And it gets even more complex if you add pitch bend with it. Because even the slightest millisecond of difference between your bass and the dedicated bass is astronomical. It'll completely ruin the phase alignment and make your bass hit way less hard. So let's go back to this guy. You should try as much as you can to preserve your sub in your sound design too. It gets really difficult once you add a lot of effects into your sound. Like adding OTT a lot of times can kind of destroy your sub. The way that OTT works is it's a multi-band compressor, and so it splits the sound into 3 bands, like the low, mids, and highs. In those crossovers between the low band and the mid band, those add latency because you're using an EQ, and so you get very, very, very slight phase differences around that area. So you're kind of misaligning your phases or your phase partials, which also kind of affects it. Though to a much less degree, I would argue, than like adding a dedicated sub. But stacking effects is like too much. I think in this case you are stacking too many effects. You should peel off your effects one by one and kind of like hear what the problems are. It takes a while to get it right, but you're close to having a good sound, but you have either too many effects on there or a few effects that are completely ruining the sound that you should evaluate. So just take it back and add only what you need or know for sure makes the sound better. Your other sounds are pretty good though, I will say. You need to check the tonal balance every now and then. The first hit of this drop has way too much high end. Just turn it down. You want to have the same amount of tonal balance as every other bass in here. Like that respace doesn't really have as much like insane high end energy as every other bass. Same with the gun. I honestly kind of want you to turn down the high end for all of these basses. Your snare's really weak, turn it up. Again, a very skippable part right here. I think your sound design here is a little bit better. I think your song structure is pretty solid in this area. I'd say pretty good overall. Definitely, I like your other stuff that you submitted more. This one, the sound design is just kind of lacking a lot, and I haven't not gone to like your mixing that much. The entire drop sounds really mono for some reason. I don't know why. If I could like get a download of it for next time, if you enable downloads, I can check out what's going on. But it just sounds like it's mono, and that's not a good thing. I also think that you're taking away too many mids in a lot of cases. Lows and low mids are your friends for getting a really heavy body sound. And just mids in general give you that body. Having too much high ends just makes it kind of irritating. So that's about all the feedback I have for that one. Pretty solid, though. I especially like the second drop more with the sound design. All right, what if you guys talking shit about me? Ring mod riser, maybe? I mean, possibly. Was good. Yeah, you're talking about the NASCO spectral compressor thing. I think that is pretty good. It's just like, you know, a paid for thing, and I'm just trying to like think of solutions that are pretty easy to understand and like are on principle. I mean, in all seriousness, like you could probably just slap in Soothe and call it a day, but then you're not really learning why you have those problems in the first place. And you're just kind of using a band-aid to put over a big giant gaping wound. If you don't tend to it really quickly, you're just gonna just keep using band-aids for everything. That's not a good practice to do. You should try to find the problem, like at the source, and learn why it was bad to make those decisions. But I mean, I can't speak. Fuck. NSpectral Compressor, I've used that quite a bit, and I do like it. I like Nasco stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I do like his stuff. I want to make my own fucking plugins because he's fucking sick as hell. The pink noise referencing, I think that's like a decent example. I think it's a kind of old thing to reference for like older mixing technicians using peak noise to reference stuff. I think it's okay to reference. If you're starting out, I guess it's pretty good, so you know like what sounds good or where things are supposed to be. But then again, my argument is that pink noise does not reflect human hearing accurately. Sure, it's a nice flat balance, but humans don't prefer a flat balance. That's why you literally have people posting on YouTube bass boosted things. So look up any song on TikTok and then look up bass boosted, and there's like songs with billions of views, or probably not billions, dude, but like there probably are that have billions, honestly, like fucking DJ Snake or some shit. Just bass boosted shit. Like humans don't like tonal balance, like pure linear tonal balance. They like their highs a little too much. They like their highs a little too low. And it also goes into like the theory of coloring your sound too. Some people they like a really warm texture, like a lot of low ends and like no highs, very low end. Some just like really white noisy kind of sounds too. So it kind of depends. I would say like a reference actually is one of like Murata's songs. I think it was one of his older ones. I can't remember what it's called, but he has like some where it's basically low passed. Like he has a fucking straight up like a low pass on the entire song, but it sounds good. Yeah, don't follow pink noise to a T, but I think it can be a reference. If you're gonna use references, just reference a song that you like or that you think is well mixed. If you need people to reference for like well mixed songs, I can fucking supply you. I know some people who are the best of the game. Okay, next is Avada. The only thing you don't want feedback on is mastering, dude. Are you kidding me? Oh, I actually forgot to read the little notes. Oh, Mecha Wolf, your song was old, so that makes sense. So it's like a year old or something. So yeah, that makes sense then, because the other stuff that you sent was way better. To finish it or not, I would say just move on. You're gonna spend a lot of time trying to fix up this song that you can probably spend making a new song that's way better. And it's just better to make new projects anyways, and to just kind of let go of older ones. Doesn't mean that you won't revisit it. Doesn't mean that you're gonna scrap it completely. Just means that you're gonna spend your time making something that you enjoy and not having to undo all of your old mistakes. Okay, let's go on to Avada. All right, Avada, you here? I think I saw you in here earlier. Where are you at? Yeah. Oh, you uploaded the wrong one? Okay. Cool, yeah. I'll skip this one for now then. Submit the one that you want to send then. The next one is Crypt Caper. Crypt Caper. Okay. Oh yes, another Avoidable Cause remix. We'd love to see it, guys. Love to see it. Crypt Caper. Oh, jeez. Okay. I gotta be real that like that was pretty generic. I feel like you took a lot of inspiration from Murata. Like dude, this fake out here. And then you have the little laser sound and the ride. It's just like it seems pretty generic to me, man. And what caught me off guard is you had that right symbol, and then I never hear it ever again. Not once. I don't think you ever had any crash cymbals or hi-hats or tambourines or anything in the drops. Fuck, I keep doing the same shit. Let's start from the top. I actually really enjoyed the intro. Nice jungle. The little respace, it needs just more work. It sounds pretty plain and basic, but it's not like a big issue, I guess. What? I mean, good build up. It works. It's fine. Nothing special. Just square goes in the square hole kind of thing, you know? Oh, you did the same build up. I didn't realize. It's just like basic, like, wow, fake out, I guess. It's just nothing special here. It's just like, okay. So, like, this is a very mediocre song. I hate to say it. The sound design is good, though. I'll give you credit for that. The song structure is a lot of the issue with. It's just pretty boring and predictable. And doesn't have like any identity. I know this is a remix for a song, but it's just not popping out to me. I think probably I heard so many remixes to where I'm really looking for good ones because a lot of the remixes sound the same to me, and this just kind of is in the pile of like the whatever remixes. So I will say specifically on the gun bass, some specific advice. When you have gun basses that are really close together like that and they're playing like a faster pattern, you have to compensate that with your pitch bend on the sub. Your pitch bend is pretty long and it sounds better when it's in longer cases. That's why I liked it in this section better, the very last drop. Because it sounds like your gun bass is made for that kind of tempo, like a much slower pace. But when you have it in like this faster environment, it's hard to make it hit. What I'd say is shorten the pitch bend on it, and any envelope you have on the gun, just shorten that as well a little bit to make it tighter. And then if you want to fill in that space, you can do it with some reverb or some distorted white noise or something. But that's like a problem that a lot of people don't even notice in their guns is like when you play it fast, your sub will never go back all the way down to where the root note is. It'll just basically sit all the way up to 100 hertz, and nobody wants to hear a bass at 100 hertz. And that's what your sub is doing like most of the time. It's just up there. So just make it faster so you can actually hear the sub. Right here, your drop loses a lot of energy. Your scream bass, it's a cool sound. You just need to bring up the high end of that to make it compensate, or add white noise to it. Just something to bring it more energy. Yeah. I like your little metal fills, they're pretty cool. and it just goes back down. I mean, you gotta add a change up. You gotta add a change up to your bass, dude. You can't have it for that long and not change it up. It gets really predictable. It gets really boring. I start like snoring, and then here it's the same bass too. I think your screen bass is better here. Your screen bass works better here because you have a layer on top. So keep that in mind. Like, it sounds more full because you have another bass on top. So you need to compensate over here, dude. The first drop. Like the same exact build up, whatever. Were you taking pre-drop vocals from just his songs? Are you saying this is an inevitable outcome? The fuck? And yeah, again, the same bass. This is the best sounding part though. There's not much to say about this. It's just like a very okay, safe song, but it's not impressive in any way, shape, or form. Your mixing is pretty solid though. Yeah. I think if you're gonna make music in this kind of thing, you have to really try to make it interesting for the listener. It's just a boring song. Add some elements in there that make me go, whoa, no one's ever done that before. Or whoa, I never heard a bass like that before. There's like no interesting sounds on you have going on. You have the same gun bass playing the entire song. The screen bass playing the entire song. It's the same format for the drop. It's A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, the entire way through. And in those A, B, A, Bs, it's always the gun, the scream, the gun, the scream, the gun, the scream. It just goes on in that same exact pattern. There's no variation. The only variation you have is kind of in this part, but still, it's so predictable and so uninteresting. It just makes you want to click off instantly. In my honest opinion, it sounds like he didn't even work on this that much, and that's why I'm being a bit more harsh, because it sounds like he put this together in legit like 3 hours. I would be willing to argue, actually, your gun bass is like probably a resampled bass of some sort, and you just put it in there, and because it's a sample, you can't really change it that much or something. If it actually is in a VST, then you have no excuse to have the same tone the entire song. Like, change it up, for goodness sakes. Go outside the box. Do something interesting. That's all to say about this song. Just very meh. Okay, next one. Desties. What's up, Desties? Alrighty. Put in here. Desties. Sword dance. Alright, let's hear this.
It is what you were made for.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Your bass kind of hurts my ears. Should probably fix that. It's like really peaking at like 5k hertz the entire song. Just turn it down. I don't know if you did something to the master, dude. Fuck. I'm gonna fucking sneeze. Holy shit. Holy shit, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, I think I'm good. Dude, you need to turn down that range. It's so loud that your master is clipping. I hear the 5k hertz range clipping in my ears because I hear the little crackles that happen when that happens. I'll show you. Okay, look. Fuck. My song? Let's do this. Oh shit, oh no. Okay, we're good. Let's get an EQ. That's what it sounds like. Let's compare. Let me hear that again. Probably like more like 2k hertz, but whatever. That's what it sounds like to me. That hurts my ears. Like, turn that down. Thank you. You can literally hear it. So turn that down. I don't know, you should do it in the master or not. If it's the bass that is doing that sound, turn that shit down. Also, just turn down in general. It's so fucking loud. Like, do you even realize your drums are drowned to shit? I cannot fucking hear your drums. Using a pain snare, and I can't hear the ping layer to it. I can tell sometimes, but most of the time it's so drowned out by your bass, man. Oh yeah. I think your sidechain's fucked up. It's like a kick will hit, and then it'll be completely silent for like 30 milliseconds or something, and then suddenly pop back up. You can hear it in this section. Like, pay attention to the drums and how like there's a cut of audio after the drum hit. Like, if you pay attention, you can hear that. So there's one of two things happening. Either your sidechain's fucking wacky and you have it like a square wave just ducking the entire thing and coming up out of nowhere, or you have like some latency thing going on. I know it's an issue if you're using like Shaperbox or something and you're using MIDI sidechain or some shit. It will just delay the sidechain or trigger at a different time if you have plugin latency. So you need to figure that out. You need to look on oscilloscope and see where it's ducking and if it's even ducking where the drums are hitting. Because what if the ducking is way later? Not only are you losing your dynamics with the drums and your punch and power and everything, but it's giving that weird silence effect. Like, it's just cutting out weirdly. So that's like an urgent thing you need to fix. Like, no one's gonna like your song if it sounds like that. Along with the 5 kilohertz thing. Yeah, the voice you have in here, it works in the intro because there was so much space for the voice to like go through everything else. And this part though, it's clashing so much. Like if I can't hear what he's saying, then you need to turn something down. Turn your instruments down until I can hear them. If you don't want to do that, be a little more technical. You can sidechain that stuff. Go to like if you have a bus for these instruments, like the fucking organ or whatever, and your organ bass shit, get a sidechain. Use his voice as the sidechain signal, so that way whenever his voice plays, the organ gets ducked down. If you want to do it that way, but I gotta hear him. You need to make me hear what he's saying. He's got some important shit to say. Builds are good. And no comment there, just good build-ups. I think your sound design is pretty good, actually. It's just like, you need to fix it. Fix the mixing. Oh yeah, your sub, I can't hear at all. Boost up the sub. At least, like, just in the bass bus you have, if you have a bass bus, just boost the sub up there, saturate it just a little bit. I mean, cool variations in your bass. Nice touches. In this section, I was about to write down that you need to change up your bass, and then you surprised me by literally doing it as I was typing it. Like, it sounds good when you do that. This is the laziest respace I've heard yet. It just goes up and down. It's just like a basic saw wave. Like, just work on it a little bit more. Make it sound cooler. Because it sounds kind of goofy with the other sounds being this cool. And yeah, I would just say either turn down that bass a lot or turn the drums up, because your drums are being eaten alive. I cannot fucking hear them. I like my drums. I like being able to hear them. I like to headbang to them. Make it noticeable in some way. Ookie. This needs to be louder. Yep. Yeah, 1 to 5K be the most sensitive range. Yep. My ears kind of want to turn that down. And it was really distorting. Like, you hear the crackling in there. And yeah, you guys pretty much have like the same thoughts I have right now of that song. So. Okay. Next one. Yep, it's Avada. Sorry, Avada, you got like pushed all the way to the back. My bad. Damn. That was fucking sick. Okay, let's go on the list. Yeah, intro, solid. Very nice. I like a lot. So your basses, they're really cool. I like your basses a lot. I think your sub is drowning it out a bit much. You should tone the sub back like a decibel and bring up the high end just a little bit more. And then it would be great. Like I can hear the sub clipping in your mastering. Like I can hear your limiter pushing it down so much. It's also distorting and then pushing down like the top end of your basses a lot too. So it's a double-edged sword if you boost your bass like that. You can really hear it here. You can hear how much the sub is just pushing everything down. It's just so much sub. And definitely here too. You can hear the sub just fucking demolish the high end of the bass. It's so loud. That like growly bass doesn't sound affected at all, ironically. I like this section a lot. Very cool. Very cool sound design right here. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, your mixing's pretty on par. Very nice to listen to. Your drum mixing, very nice. Like it a lot. Your song structure. Song structures, it's like okay. It's not the best. It's not super unique, but it works. I enjoy it. It's fine for this song. So I think this is a good example of like a song that is good. It is just a good song, like a solid 7, 8 out of 10. And the only thing that makes a song better is for you to do some crazy shit. If you could do some like insane sound designs no one's ever heard of before, a crazy like rhythm nobody's heard of before, some kind of crazy flow. Like I'm talking putting something the extra mile. And you can get there just by working on it more or by preparing ahead of time. If you open a new project and have an idea of like what kind of rhythm you want, something that's very unique and interesting, like go for it. I mean, there's only so much you can do with the song though. I think the song for what you have right now, it's just complete. I don't think there's anything else you can do to the song to make it any better. I think it's just capped at where it's at right now, except for the minor things like the sub being overpowering and all that. I think this song is just ready to go. Just release it, move on to another project, make that project even better. Make that project be the one that goes above and beyond. Like really push your limits and you'll get there. But I'm excited to see other things you send me. I mean, I can already see some progress from your last one. Gosh, my throat's really fucking me over right now. All right, what did you guys say about me talking shit again? Cool intro. Yeah, that's my catchphrase. Like saying cool intro all the time. The sub is boosted into a G clip to get a bit more distortion on the bus. Just reduce it with another EQ after the G clip, the same amount it was pushed, but for whatever reason I didn't do this. Yeah, I mean that's actually what you're mentioning right there is like coloring your bass. Like it's like hard to kind of explain, but like boosting a range in your bass, like kind of like too much, and then distorting it and then pushing it back down, that is coloring. Like you are distorting just your mids in that case, which gives it a very unique sound. Like that's a good thing. That's a cool sound design trick. And so you're doing boosting the sub and then distorting it and then cutting it back. That can work. All you gotta do is just cut it back a little bit and then boost the highs just a tad bit. Just compensate for that and you're good to go. But that's a good sound design technique. I actually do that a lot, to be honest. Like a lot of my cool basses do that. Like the really crunchy mid ones. Avada, if you like get a bell curve and put it at like 200 to 500 hertz and make it like pretty gentle, but then boost it like something ridiculous like 10 decibel or something, maybe a little bit less, and just distort it and then cut it right afterwards, the same exact amount, you'll get some really cool, interesting results. So I advise like experiment with that more. You can get some cool colors, cool sounds, cool crunchiness. Yeah, I mean, your song, like I said, it's pretty much done. You're honestly better off spending your time making a new song, experimenting there, than experimenting with this one. Yeah, but good shit. And I know it was kind of like a surprise stream because the day it's usually on is on Wednesday, and it is not Wednesday, it is Thursday, because Wednesday was Christmas, and I'm not gonna stream on Christmas because it's Christmas. And I don't think anybody else would be sitting watching a computer screen waiting for their song to get feedback during Christmas when they could be with family or something. So it's just kind of like a shorter stream today, I guess. People just weren't around, or some people probably didn't even see that I posted an update to the to like the time and stuff. But regular streams will be on track again. Thank you guys for submitting the songs. I mean, I hope you guys got some stuff from it. I try to build up your guys' musical knowledge the best I can, to make your music sound impressive to people who will sign your music or play your music out, or like venues that want to play you out. Like I want to help you guys get there. I was definitely told some wrong advice back in the day, so I want to try and get that advice to you guys, the stuff I learned that took me years to learn. So yeah, in the meantime, yeah, if you are watching and you're not subbed to my Patreon, go ahead and sub. You can get feedback like this every week with a bunch of other benefits too. So just go ahead and check that out. But right now, I'm gonna head off, guys. Great stream, and I'll talk to you guys next week.